What's up, my sexy little chode muffins? It's me, Jay. And you know what? Today is a good day. It's a fantastic day, even. Because you know what happened? Well, I mean, it didn't happen today. It happened yesterday, but I'm still psyched out of my mind about this. Okay. Guess what happened? Barney's, they got fucking large hot lattes again. I mean, holy shit. They brought them back. And some previous episodes, I don't know which ones or which one it was, but I was talking about how they just, at least I think I did. I actually have no idea if I ever told this. I don't remember. But there's a coffee shop on my campus, and it's Barney's Coffee. Love Barney's Coffee. Santa's White Christmas, top tier. Okay, that I used to get that, right. In the first few weeks of classes, they had large lattes, so I was getting a large hot Santa's White Christmas latte, and I was living life. Then all of a sudden, they just stopped selling larges. I don't know why. They just didn't have large cups. They're like, hey, we don't have large. We only have medium, right? But I would come in like every week, you know? And I'd be like, do you guys have large? Do you have large? Do you have large? No. No, they just don't have it. And I was like, this is so weird. Why do they not have large lattes? Here I am with money burning a hole in my pocket, just waiting to be spent on a large hot latte, and you don't even have them, you know? Well, guess what? They literally just brought them back. I got the first large hot latte from that Barney's this past week for the first time. Yeah, yesterday, actually. Yesterday was the first time I got a large hot latte since like August. Because they just didn't have large lattes. But they brought them back. And honestly, it's top tier. I don't know. I don't even know why they stopped for that period of time. I don't know what happened. I couldn't tell you. But I'm psyched out of my mind about it. Because they brought them back. So I got a large hot latte yesterday morning. And I mean, holy shit. And it was only like, I don't know, it was only like a few cents more, you know? Like I thought it was gonna be like a couple bucks or some shit. You know, because inflation these days. But no, it was only like a few cents more. And so I was like, why? Why did you ever stop? I don't understand this. You know what I mean? How do you just not? I don't know. But they have it now. And I feel like I'm the only one who gets them. Because I don't know. Maybe that's why they stopped. Maybe it's just because no one was getting large lattes. Maybe I was the sole customer and they're like, it's just not worth shipping it. But it's like, still, bro, money in my pocket. I got money in my pocket that I want to spend on a large hot latte. Whatever. The good news is they brought it back, okay? So yesterday was a fantastic day. I was ecstatic. I was stoked. I was psyched out of my mind. Any other adjectives you want to come up with for just how fucking happy I was about this? I was amazed. I couldn't believe it. Honestly, they brought it back the week before, but I gave up asking after a while. I gave up asking about large cups because I was like, I just feel like I had, at a certain point, I felt like I had to accept that they're just not going to have large lattes, and I'm just going to have to live with that, you know? And so one day, the week before, last week, I go in there and just out of habit, I ordered a medium hot latte. And as I'm standing at the counter waiting for my drink, I'm looking over and like, you know how like hot drinks, they come in like the paper cups and the ice drinks come in like the clear plastic. So I'm looking over at where all the cups are and I see two sizes for the hot lattes. I see the medium size and then I see a larger size, which is obviously the large. And I was like, did they bring it back? You know? And at that point, I had already ordered and paid, and I'm waiting for my drink. So I can't like walk over and be like, hey, can you actually like dump that latte that you're making in the medium cup and throw it in a large one? And I'll just hand you a quarter. to pay for the difference. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna have to see. We have to come next week. Hopefully they still have it. And I was honestly thinking, I was like, yo, with my luck, they're gonna sell out of the large cups over this week because everyone's has pent up demand for large lattes, hot lattes, but maybe not because everyone drinks iced fucking coffee these days. But I was thinking, I was like, yeah, maybe by the end of this week, when I pull up next week, they're gonna be all out, you know. But no, I came in, they had a stack. They had a stack of these large cups. It was huge. It was taller than me, you know. Stack was taller than me, full of just large cups. And I was like, yes. All for me, because everyone drinks iced, you know? So I was stoked. I'm still stoked. So, yeah, yesterday was a good day. A good motherfucking day. So I had my large hot latte. And, man, I can't believe it. I still don't understand why they stopped in the first place, you know? They're talking about, because I was talking to the employees, you know, which, I mean, I don't expect them to know much because they just work there to make the coffee, so they're not really involved in the whole delivery system. But I was talking to them about it, and they're like, I don't know, like, we ordered it, and they just never showed up. And I was like, okay, isn't the school kind of concerned that they spent money on ordering these large cups and they just never showed up? Because I would kind of be, you know what I mean? If I paid however much money for a shipment of large cups and they just never showed up, I'd be like, dog, where's my product? You know? I ordered this, where is it? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe I sort of like, I'm going to give myself credit for bringing back... I'm going to give myself credit for bringing back the large cups because, you know, I feel like I already talked about this on the podcast. I don't know why I wouldn't because I was pretty pissed off about it, you know, and we all know that I use this podcast to just complain about shit in my life. So I feel like I definitely talked about not having large cups at Barney's for my large hot lattes. And I bet someone in the delivery system, you know, whether it be my school or Barney's themselves, they obviously heard the podcast and like, damn, there's actually a dude who wants these large cups. Maybe we should actually deliver it, and they did. So I'm gonna credit myself with this for bringing back the large lattes at Barney's. So everybody on my campus who is a big fan of large hot lattes, and you're happy about them being back, you're welcome. You know, so. You know, no need to thank me, but you're welcome. So yeah, living life, man. I was living life. Also, I love how they always ask me, like, is whole milk fine? And I find it funny because it's like, if whole milk wasn't okay, don't you think I would have said that, you know? Because I feel like people that have like a specific milk, they would obviously order that because the default would be whole milk, right? You know, so I'm always like, yeah, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like if I don't pull up and I say make that skim milk, you know, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. I just think it's funny that they always ask me if whole milk is fine. I'm like, yeah, it's. I've tried all the different milks in lattes, and honestly, I don't taste a difference. So I don't care. I don't care what I get. You know what I mean? But I know people would just give that like some sort of health lesson about it. They're like, oh, well, you shouldn't drink whole milk because, you know, I don't know, some sort of health benefit. They'll probably say it's full of some sort of, I don't know, some sort of thing on the elemental chart that I shouldn't be drinking or some shit. You know what I mean? I see that a lot these days of like people on social media like talking about health benefits and shit. And yeah, I don't know. It's not that I don't care about being healthy, but it's just like I've never really thought about that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like that generally most people would realize that even like shit that's like bad for you, like candy. You know what I mean? I feel like they know that, you know, everything in moderation, basically. You know what I mean? And so like, I don't know. I don't eat a shit ton of candy, but I do like eating candy, you know? I mean, like I was gonna say who doesn't, but obviously these health people don't. But like, I like eating candy. You know what I mean? But I know that I shouldn't just sit on the couch and just eat a full bag of Milky Ways. You know what I mean? Like I know that that's a thing that I should not do. But it's okay to have one or two. But no, like they'll pull up and be like, it's full of sugar and you shouldn't eat a whole lot of sugar. And I'm like, do you really think one Milky Way is gonna kill me? Because I don't think so. I don't know. It's just sort of like stuff like that, where people talk about health benefits. And I mean, hey, you do you, right? If you want to eat healthy and all that stuff, that's fine. But, I don't know. It's just something about it, though. It's just, like some people talk about drinking coffee is like not good for you, especially like the caffeine, which, hey, I'll agree with, because I know that caffeine is essentially a drug, right? And so you shouldn't have a lot of caffeine, which is why I try to make sure I only have like 1 cup of caffeinated coffee a day, and then any other subsequent coffee, I try to get decaf, except for lattes, I guess I totally could order a decaf latte, but I mean, isn't that kind of the point of a latte? I mean, a latte is like an espresso and steamed milk, So if you decaf it, you literally take away the entire point of a latte, How do you have a decaf espresso also? You know what I mean? Isn't that the whole point of espresso? Isn't that just a coffee with just more caffeine in it? So like, what's the point of a decaf espresso? But I know they make decaf lattes. I just never order them because I don't care that much about it. And hey, I'm still alive. I'm still as healthy as a horse, as they say. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of funny sometimes people that like talk about like these health benefits. Once again, man, if that's what you're into, do your thing, I guess, live your life. But I don't know, like they pull out like these big ass science words. They're like, hey, did you know that that bowl of cereal is full of like, I don't know, some sort of elemental chart. The only like big ass like science word I could think of is methamphetamine. And I don't even know if I said that right. So like, but they pull out like these big words and like, did you know it's full of that? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. What makes you think I have any clue what that is? I do know that meth is a drug. Okay, so I I know what that is, but I just mean like they pull out like these words. There's like one person that I follow. They put on their story, they were talking about some sort of food product, and they literally brought out like the chemistry, like like the elemental makeup or something like that. Like when anyone who's taking chemistry, like where you draw the diagram of what a certain atom is or something like that, some sort of compound element. It's like the hexagons and the lines and the circles and the whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like the hydrogen atom, right? You have like the one big. Well, actually, that's H2O. I'm thinking of H2O. So H2O, not just hydrogen. The H2O, water, right? It's a big ass circle with an H, and then there's 2 lines to 2 small circles that are O's for the oxygens. H2O, or is it 2 hydrogen? I have no. If you can't tell, I don't like chemistry. I didn't understand chemistry, So yeah, H2O, that's 2 H's and 1 O, right? Yeah, that's what that is, not 1 H and 2 O's. But either way, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's the one big circle with the 2 lines to the small circles, right? So it's sort of like that. Like they show this diagram and they're like, oh, this food product is full of like this thing. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know. It like, I know you're saying it's a bad thing, but I really have no proof of whether or not that's bad or not. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like that type of stuff I don't really think about, like they read ingredients and shit. I don't know. They say it's bad for you, but I'm like, dude, isn't like life expectancy going up? Talk about eating like all natural and shit. And it's like, dude, back in those days when people ate like all natural, not the food that we eat these days, weren't people dying in like their 40s or 30s? I don't know about you, but If this food was truly incredibly bad for us, why is life expectancy going up? You know what I mean? I don't know. Once again, you do you. Live your life, I guess. But yeah, it's just kind of funny to me sometimes because I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, you know? I don't think about that. I don't think about, and maybe I should, you know? Maybe I should be thinking about what I'm eating, but it's just not really something I do think about. You know, people talk about like how pizza's bad for you. And I'm like, dude, but pizza's fucking fire. You know? So like, I kind of want to eat it because it tastes good. You know, I'm going to have a burger. I'm going to have pizza. And I'm going to eat Milky Ways. That's not going to be my 100% diet, you know? Obviously, you got to throw in some good shit in there every once in a while. But still, it's like I like eating pizza. I'm going to eat pizza. You know? Also, like, why is everything on a burger individually good for you, but then when you put it together, it's bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, meat is protein, right? Then obviously you put lettuce, tomato, and onion, which, I mean, those are all fucking vegetables, okay? Cheese, I really don't know if cheese is good or bad for you in a general sense, but it tastes good, so I'm going to say it is good for me. And then bread. You know, carbs, literally the base of the food pyramid, right? Isn't that? I think so. So like, yeah, individually they're like good for you, but if I put them together, it's like suddenly it's bad for me. I'm going to like die of a heart attack or something, right? Isn't that what they say? I don't know. I think maybe it's like the grease. Isn't it usually, I think it's usually the grease from the burger. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I know I shouldn't be eating burgers 24/7 because, like I said, in a general sense, they're bad for you. But, you know, at the end of the day, it tastes good. So I like eating burgers. It just reminds me, there was like this, I saw like this clip. It was from sort of like TLC show or something like that. And it was probably My Strange Addiction. Isn't that a show or the show? I don't know. I think it's My Strange Addiction, and they were talking to this guy who was like addicted to eating cheeseburgers, okay? And he ate so much, and to sort of like give him a sense of how many burgers he eats in a week or a year, or whatever it was. I can't remember what the scale was. They brought him out to this truck, you know, like a moving truck. And they opened the back door, and a bunch of these like styrofoam containers, you know, like those shit that you bring food home from like a restaurant or something like that. You're taking shit home. It was full of these styrofoam containers, and they all like pour out, and they're like, this is the amount. It was probably over a course of a year, but because it was a shit ton. I'm telling you, the truck was full. You know, it was like a moving truck. Like it's not a semi, you know, but it's like, you know what I mean. It was just full of these styrofoam containers, and it dumps out. And it was supposed to be a sign of being like, dog, you know, a wake-up call. Like, this is how much you're eating in a year. Like, this is way too many cheeseburgers, you know. And I think it was supposed to be like, oh, shit, you know. That's crazy. I shouldn't be doing that. And, but he just like, he just bent over, picked up a styrofoam container. He's like, are these actually full? Are these actually full of burgers? And he like opens it up, and they were empty. And like, no, it's just a representation. But he was so addicted to burgers that he was like, yeah, no, dog, if you're going to show me a burger, I'm going to eat it right now. You know what I mean? And I don't blame him. Burgers are good, you know? But obviously that much, a whole ass truck full of burgers. I mean, yeah, that's a little too much. It's like Squidward with the Krabby Patties in that one episode. You know what I'm saying? Like that room that Squidward was in with all the Krabby Patties, like that was basically how much burgers this dude was eating. That's how many styrofoam containers like poured out of this truck. You know, so like, yeah, dude, everything in moderation is basically my point. You know, like I feel like most people would understand that, right? No one's going to sit here and argue that a Milky Way is good for me. But I'm not going to sit here and say that one Milky Way is detrimental to my health, like extremely. You know what I'm saying? That's like the basic point I'm trying to make. You know, but once again, if you're health conscious, that's great. That's good. I'm really proud of you. You know, it's just not something that I necessarily think about. And I just find it, once again, I just find it funny when they post like the elemental charts of like what is in your food, and they're like, "Did you know this was in here? Like that's crazy." I'm like, I don't know what that is. Is that actually crazy, or is that normal? Like, you know, it's like I've been eating this brand of cereal for years, and I've never had an issue, and now you're coming to me and you're saying, well, it has this compound in here that is supposedly killing me or something. Like, I don't know about you, man, but I feel fine. Everyone, and once again, everyone's makeup is different, so it's like something that's good for you is bad for other people. It is what it is. But yeah, anyways, that's my kind of rant about the health world. Once again, you do you. I'm genuinely proud of you. I kind of think that it is something that I should be conscious of. But I don't know. I haven't really had an issue where that brought that to my attention, because like I would say in a general sense, I'm one of the most consistently healthy people that I know. I only moderately have like seasonal allergies, in the spring. So honestly, my allergies are starting to kick up a little bit right now. But I mean, it's not too bad. Like I still feel fine. But other than seasonal allergies, I like hardly ever get sick. I don't have like any sort of issues. I don't have to go to the hospital. And hey, man, knock on wood. You know what I'm saying? I think is this wood? I don't know. I think it is. I'll knock on wood in a little bit. But but yeah. So I don't know. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling great. So it's just not something that's been a priority for me. But once again, if it is for you, that's great. I'm happy for you. Continue to eat healthy. It's good. Honestly, it is a good thing to be thinking about your health and your well-being. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I was just talking to someone, and they were talking about like where they get their meat, right? Once again, this is still kind of a part of the health mindset, but they were talking about like where they get their meat. Like the place sells a bison meat. You know what I mean? I don't know if I've ever had bison meat, but like I always like kind of forget that bison is like a real animal. You know what I mean? Like, is there ever like an animal that like you it exists? Like, I know that bison exists, but like I don't know if it's just because I don't really see them a whole lot, because I mean, as far as I know, there's no bison in Florida. but like you kind of you almost like forget that they exist, and then you see them, you're like, oh yeah, fuck, those things are real. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people know that bears and lions and tigers and bears, oh my, exist, right? Sharks and all that stuff. But like a bison, I don't even know where bison live. I'm pretty sure it's like the plains. But I don't know. I guess bison are still alive, obviously, because this company is getting bison meat. But I'm just saying, like, you only ever really see bison in a popular sense when you're watching like a Western movie or TV show. Like bison are so prominent. Like they're like the symbol of the West. You know what I mean? Like the old 1800s Wild West days. I mean, bison. That's like a staple. But like I always forget that bison exists still, like to this day. They're just such a weird fucking animal. It's like because they got like a body of a bull, but then like their head is just something else. You know what I mean? They got a mane like a lion. You're like, what the fuck is a bison? I don't know. Like they're like one of the weirdest animals to me. I don't understand bison. Like, I gotta look up a picture of a bison. Also, is a bison and buffalo the same thing? Because I almost feel like they are. Like, what the fuck is this thing? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? I'm genuinely confused. Like they look like a cow, but like they're not. Are they cow? I feel like they're in the cow family, right? So is bison and buffalo the same thing? A buffalo's different? What the hell? I thought what? Okay, my world is right now being turned upside down. I thought they were the same thing. What the fuck? Oh, buffalo are even more confusing. Well, actually, no, they look more like a regular cow, but just like a really weird horn. But bison? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I don't get bison, guys. I don't. They almost don't look real. Because also, like I said, I never see them. You know, like, do they even have bison at zoos? Because I've been to a few zoos, and I don't ever recall seeing bison. Hell, man, I went to the Animal Kingdom at Disney somewhat recently, and I went on that safari ride, and I didn't see a bison. I didn't see buffalo. I might have saw bison. I don't know. Or buffalo. Now I'm getting confused. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a bison. Yeah, this is a bison. So a buffalo is actually different, which that is news to me. I legit thought bison and buffalo were the same thing. You know? You're kind of like you know how pumas, cougars, and mountain lions, remember that fucking discussion? Yeah, it turns out they're the same animal, you know? So this is like really weird. So I thought pumas, cougars, and mountain lions and panthers, that was another one. I thought they were all like slightly different animals. It turns out they're the same, just different names. And then I'm sitting here thinking that bison and buffalo is two different names for the same animal. And it turns out those are two different animals. Like, I'm telling you, my world is being turned upside down. This is crazy. But genuinely, bison, one of the weirdest animals I've ever seen in my life. One of the things that constantly reminds me that bison are real, though I guess it's about to be gone. I don't know. We'll see. But at Disney, the Magic Kingdom here in Orlando, they had a show literally just closed recently, which I'm kind of pissed about. But they had a show called Country Bear Jamboree, and on the wall they had like three characters. It was like a deer, a moose, and a bison. You know, they were like taxidermied heads hanging on the wall. You know, like hunters and all that stuff. That would constantly remind me that bison is a real animal, because I get in that. I would sit down in that show and I look up at the wall. I'm like, holy shit! I completely forgot that bison are real. I don't know. They're just so weird. They got like I said, they got like a body of a bull, but they got like a mane and shit. I don't know. They're so like, what the fuck is this? What is this? Why do they only have fur on the front half of their body? They're so weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. I maybe I'm in the minority here, but like, what is this? They're like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. You see this shit? I don't know. Oh, you know what is a weird animal? Okay, it's not real, but so I literally just saw this somewhat recently, and it's probably one of the most cursed images I've ever seen. Hopefully I can get to it. It was on Instagram. Saved? Where's saved? Oh, here we go. Okay, so I saved it because, like I said, this is like one of the most wild things I've ever seen drawn. Hopefully I can find it. But it was like this girl like drew a picture of like some kind of animal, and it just absolutely killed me. I don't know where it is. Where is it?
A lot of attention. Here are some quick sketches I did of humpses. Here is how I think someone would ride a humps. I think they sit like right up here. Ignore my terrible proportions. I drew these really quickly. And they would have these loops that go strap around the ears, and the reins would attach to them, and then they could steer with that. Or they could just put their hands on the ears and
what
steer
is
that
this?
way. Here is a humps from the front. Also, the last thing you see before you die. Here's a little tiny humps in somebody's hand. Here's BoJack Horseman because you asked for it. Here's BoJack Horseman. Thank you.
So, this thing is called a humps. A humps. Okay. You want to talk about a weird fucking creature? Luckily, these things aren't real. But I mean, for those who are only listening, who aren't watching this on YouTube, so this person drew a horse. It's a horse's head. It's just the head, and it has legs. So just like imagine if a horse's head was just the entire body of the horse. That's it. And one of the most cursed things I've ever seen in my life. And this person, so this was the original video that I saw of this person talking about a humps. A humps? I don't even know how to say that. HOMSE, a humps. And so I sort of did a little bit of digging, okay? I went to this person's page, and I mean, there's so much humps shit. You know what I mean? Like, humpses? Okay, I don't think I can play that. So it's music, but she's drawing a humps. It's just... It's so weird, dude. She even went as far to she made a 3D image of a humps. You know? Like, you want to talk about a weird creature? I mean, basically, like, my reaction to this is, like, sort of what I think about bison. You know what I mean? It's, like, one of the weirdest freaking things I've ever seen. I was dying at this the first time I saw it. Like, a humps. It's just... Like, look at this shit. Oh my god. She even made a video about, like, a unicorn humps. You know, and talking about how like, you know how, like, a unicorn, the horn is, like, in between the eyes. So in this video, she describes how a humps, how, like, that wouldn't really do anything since the whole fucking body of the horse is the head, right? She says that it would have a horn at the front of its nose, like a rhino. Like what is this? I'm so confused. I just like this is what I think about bison. You know, they look like a made up creature. I mean, that's literally what it is to me. That's what a bison looks like to me. It's just something that girl would draw, you know, a humps, whatever the fuck it's called. But yeah, I don't know. I always forget these things are real. But they're fucking cool though. I gotta say, like, they're weird, but they're cool. You know, like, I actually want to see one in real life. You know, because I also hear, like, they're fucking huge. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a real bison, but I don't even think I've seen, like, a legitimate stuffed bison. But I did see what a stuffed moose is, so I could sort of see how big a fucking moose is, and those things are huge, and that scared the hell out of me. Because my whole life, I thought a moose was, like, the same size as, like, a deer. You know what I mean? And deer are not that big in a general sense. At least I think. You know, at least the deer that I see roaming around in Florida, they're relatively small. You know, they're kind of like exactly what I would picture a size of a deer would be. You know, then I saw a moose. I mean, these things are like, they're fucking humongous. You know, and so I kind of think that's what the thing is for bison. You know, like, you see, like, a bull, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty much the size I would expect a bull to be. And then a bison is just like 10 times the size of that. I don't know. I'm probably just making shit up, but still, I don't know. Bison just are so weird to me. They don't weird me out, but they are weird to me. I don't know how to explain. Like, look at this. Look at that. Okay, maybe bison aren't that big, but I mean, look at that. Just I don't know. That's just so wild for me. Where do bison live? I feel like they would live somewhere like Oklahoma or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. It's just weird. So yeah, maybe there's some health benefits to eating bison. Can someone give me the chemical compound of bison meat and tell me if it's something that I should be eating or not? I would really like to know. Because I don't know. Is bison good? Is it like eating a steak? Is it like eating cow? I would assume so. Are they in the cow family? Who knows? But yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Bison are really weird. That's pretty much the moral of today's episode is that bison are weird. But I'm still stoked out of my mind about large hot lattes. I mean, come on, baby. Let's give a big round of applause for like hot lattes, okay? Let's fucking go. Okay. Stoked out of my mind about that. I just can't wait for someone to give me the chemical compound of a Santa's White Christmas latte to tell me that I shouldn't be drinking that once a week. But you know what? I feel so good drinking a Santa's White Christmas latte, so it can't be bad for me. I feel amazing having one of those. So I'm going to continue doing it. So anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Lion on Main. I've been your host, Jay Lyons. Whatever you guys are listening to this on, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and leave a review. All that really helps me out a lot. And follow me on social media at RealJLyons on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And yeah, subscribe to my main channel, dog. Been making some videos. Got a lot of videos in the works. Got a lot of videos planned. So fucking subscribe. That's all I gotta say. You know, we're gonna pop off. Okay, we got some good videos coming up. All right, yeah. So subscribe to my main channel, Jay Lyons. All these will be linked in the description if you don't feel like searching it. And yeah, I think that's it. So that's it. That's it for this episode. Bison are weird.